हेलो क्लास 12, वेलकम बैक टू आवर चैनल शिक्षक जंक्शन। क्योंकि अब नहीं तो कब। दिस इज आयुषी अग्रवाल एंड वी आर डीलिंग विद अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर दैट इज द ह्यूमन रिप्रोडक्शन। एंड विद इन दैट पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर, in this lecture what we have to discuss is about the structure of the sperm. Okay, in the last lectures what we have already talked about is of this flow chart. I have already discussed everything about this flow chart. Where we have left is with the development of these sperms, like the question mark which I have put in the figure. With respect to the figure, you can say that we are going to discuss. Okay, in the last lecture, if you have any doubt with respect to the last lecture, you can ask either in the comment section or through the Gmail ID. We are available there every time for you. Okay, so we will proceed in this lecture with this spermatid. See, in the last lecture I have told you that the secondary spermatocytes after meiosis II division leads to the formation of spermatids, and the question mark which I have put here denotes the process that is known as what? That is known as the spermiogenesis. This process is important and it leads to the development of the mature or the motile sperms. How, that we are going to discuss, and then we will talk about the structure of the sperm. So briefly discussing about the spermiogenesis first. Okay, let me again change the color and then we will look at what it is. Okay, so now what we have talked about, we have talked about that spermatid that we have discussed in our last lecture. If you have not visited that lecture, you have to first visit that, otherwise you will not be able to understand this very particular part. Last lecture was easy and important also, right? So this spermatid which has developed is actually non-motile and it is heavy also. That means it is not the actual sperm, it is non-motile and it is heavy. That means it cannot go directly into the ovum for the fertilization part. Before that, it should become the actual motile and light in weight. Okay, but this spermatid contains lot many organelles in it, which in turn helps in the development of the sperm. And what are these organelles? The organelles that this spermatid contains is the mitochondria, right? Then it contains nucleus, it contains Golgi, it also contains centriole. All these micro or all these organelles aid in the movement of the sperm. How, that we are going to discuss in this lecture only, so don't worry about that. Okay, so the spermatid is non-motile and heavy. Now what happens is, during spermiogenesis the weight of the sperm gets reduced. Okay, weight of the sperm or spermatid actually it reduces. That means it becomes light in weight. How? Due to the development of the locomotory organs. Okay, due to the locomotory organs. And what are these locomotory organs or structures? That also we will talk about when we will study about the structure of these sperms. Okay, so this is how the development of locomotory organs reduces the weight of sperm. This happens during this spermiogenesis process only. Okay, that is why this particular process is important. Now this is before spermiogenesis. And what about these organelles? That also we will talk about. But before that, just remember one more thing with respect to this figure is, after spermiogenesis what happens is, the sperm heads that form. How it form, that I will talk about, but just remember before that particular thing, the sperm heads that develop, it gets embedded finally into the Sertoli cells. And Sertoli cells you might all know by now. If not, go and visit the previous lectures that are there available on the channel. Okay, sperm heads, and then this gets finally embedded into where? Into the structure that is known as the seminiferous tubule. Okay, So this sperm head after spermiogenesis becomes embedded into the seminiferous tubule, and then it leads to the release of the sperm, and that process is known as spermiation. This is also an important point that you must remember. What spermiation is, you must remember. Okay, what spermiation is? When after spermiogenesis the sperm heads become embedded into the Sertoli cells and released from this seminiferous tubule, then the process is known as the spermiation. So this is how the formation of sperms takes place. Now we will talk about the structure of our sperms in detail. See, each and every organelle that has been mentioned here, we will talk about that thing. Okay, now moving on to the structure of the sperm. This is how the sperm looked like. So each and every organelle, first of all, I will talk about in detail. Now what happens during the spermiogenesis part is all the organelles that have been there in the spermatids now perform their role to make the sperm motile. How? See, first of all, we will talk about the nucleus. That is very important organelle. You might have notice in your previous classes, है ना? What happens with the nucleus? This nucleus becomes compact, okay, and it play a very important role in the formation of the head part. This is where during spermiation this gets embedded into the Sertoli cells. What we have talked about a few minutes back, है ना? So this nucleus becomes compact and it leads to the formation of the head part of the spermatozoa. Now from the figure, see, this is the head part. So this is the nucleus part. Okay. At the tip of the head, you might encounter the structure that is written here is this acrosome. See, again I am telling you, if you try to skip the figure or the video, you will not understand whatever we are discussing. So do not ever try to do that, otherwise you are going to miss very important concepts. Now what actually forms the acrosome? So this acrosome is formed from the Golgi body. And this acrosome is a very important part in the nucleus. Why? Because it helps in the penetration of the ovum after the during the fertilization, in fact. Okay, this acrosome, how is it possible? See, first of all, this acrosome is just like the cap of our nucleus, or in front of the nucleus it forms the cap like structure. Now why it is important? Because this acrosome contains the enzymes such as, okay, let me change the color so that you might not encounter any difficulty, है ना? कलर चेंज होता है तो शायद हमें याद रह जाती हैं वो चीज़ें, क्योंकि उनका विजिबल जो प्रेजेंटेशन है वो थोड़ा चेंज हो जाता है. दैट इज वाई, राइट? So this Golgi body forms the acrosome, and what is very important about this acrosome is the presence of the enzymes like hyaluronidase. Okay, hyaluronidase. See, the spelling as well as the pronunciation is somewhat different, so you must remember. Okay, apart from this hyaluronidase enzyme, it contains the acrosin. Okay, this is acrosin as well as corona perinata enzyme. Okay, penetrata enzyme. What is very special about these enzymes? All these enzymes leads to the fertilization of the ovum. When we will talk about the structure of the ovum or the oogenesis part, you will understand how or why it is very important for these enzymes actually to be present in order to fertilize the ovum. Okay, so by now you must remember that this Golgi body in turn forms the acrosome, which contains very many enzymes, and the enzymes are listed here. These enzymes aid in the penetration of the layers of the ovum, which leads ultimately to the fertilization part. Clear? Now coming on to the other organelles from this. Now this nucleus forms the head portion, okay, and the cap of head is this acrosome part. Now when we will move on to the neck region, what it contains is, it contains this very important structure that is known as the centriole. So this nucleus is the first part that we have talked about. Then comes the Golgi body, and third part that we are going to talk about is this centriole portion. Okay, acha, one important thing which I have forgotten to tell you is about this nucleus. It is the haploid nucleus. That's also you must remember. Okay, so I am just writing the ploidy level here. It is the haploid part. Okay, now coming on to the centriole part. The centrioles are arranged within the neck region, and this contains two centrioles. Okay, this important point is specially to consider if you are preparing for your exams, competitive exams, then it is very important. So the two centrioles are arranged in the neck region one after the other, and you can classify these two centrioles as proximal and the distal one. Proximal obviously is the one that is near to the nucleus, and distal is the one that is away from the nucleus. That is how you classify the proximal and the distal. So what happens with this proximal part? This proximal centriole, it enters into the egg. Okay, it enters into the egg and it leads to the first cleavage division within that particular egg. Right, now what actually first cleavage division is, that we will talk about during the fertilization part, but just remember that this proximal centriole enters into the egg and then it leads to the first division. I am just writing it here, first division. Okay, now why is this distal centriole is important? This distal centriole, it changes into the basal bodies and then it leads to the attachment of the sperm tail in the axial filament. This also the details we will talk about in the fertilization part, but just remember, because I'll provide you with the reference of this particular thing which I have talked about. Okay, so the centrioles are two in number, and the two centriole, one is proximal, one is distal. Proximal centriole, it enters the egg and it leads to the first division or first cleavage division. The distal centriole, that is present away from the nucleus, it produces the basal bodies and then it leads to the attachment of the tail of the sperms within the axial filament. Okay, so this is about the third part that we have talked about. Now moving on further to the fourth part, what it will be. Okay, so after this, the centriole portion, just look at the figure, we have this mid piece, है ना, and this mid piece contains, so this is actually the fourth number in continuation with the previous thing that we have talked about. This middle piece contains lot many mitochondria, and we all know what is the importance of this mitochondria within a particular cell. This mitochondria produces the energy for the movement of the sperm, or it provides the energy to facilitate the sperm motility. That is why this middle piece is very important, otherwise the sperm will not be able to move. We all know that within the humans, out of the two gametes, only the sperm part is motile and it is small, while the ovum is large and non-motile. So that is how it is seen here. The mitochondria are arranged spirally within this middle piece structure, right? So with this completes our middle piece. Now the fifth portion is obviously the tail part, and as it is very clear from the figure, the tail contains this flagellum and the tail sheath, and ultimate aim of this tail is the motility of the sperm, because it already contains the locomotory structure, that is this flagellum, है ना. We all know about this flagellum portion, that this flagellum is the locomotory organ in an organism. So this is how this flagellum is connected. Okay, I think that this flagellum, within this flagellum portion, this is omitted. I have drawn a line by mistake due to the digitized pen going here and there. So this is how we go with the structure. So what actually the structure is? The structure contains, okay, I will revise once again with obviously the change in color. See, the change in color is very important sometimes. Why? Because it allows you to make a focus as well as it makes you clear about some things, है ना. एक ही कलर से मोनोटोनस हो जाता है थोड़ा, वैसे भी बड़े क्लासेस में आते आते हमारी जो फिगर्स हैं वो भी मोनोटोनस होने लगती हैं, है ना. तो आई एम ट्राइंग जस्ट टू create an interest in you with respect to the subject. So the very first part of this sperm is this head portion. Head portion की जो cap बनाता है that is this acrosome. It is formed from the Golgi body and it contains enzymes that helps in the penetration of the ovum. This head contains the nucleus, that is the haploid part. Next is the neck portion which contains the centriole. And why the centriole are important, you know very well. The function of the centriole I might not be tell you at this particular point. After the neck you have this midpiece, and what this midpiece contains, it contains this mitochondria structures which provides the energy for the movement of the sperm. After midpiece you have this tail which contains the locomotory organ in the form of flagellum, which in turn helps in the movement of sperm. So that is how these sperms get the motility, and then it leads to the fertilization. Why? Because the development is complete. Now it goes to the ovum. So before this fertilization step we have to understand the oogenesis part also. Like we have discussed spermiogenesis or spermatogenesis, we will talk about in detail the oogenesis part also obviously in the next lecture. Till then, if you have any doubt, feel free to ask me, and yes, obviously if you have not subscribed to the channel, do that. Otherwise again you will be missing the important lectures that are there uploaded regularly, in fact daily on the channel, है ना. So stay connected with the channel and obviously take care of yourselves. Bye bye. Thank you. Have a good day all of you.